getting deep.
Hi, Rozz.
Hi, Jackson.
Welcome back.
To another episode of
We Forgive You.
where it's all about self-care through celebrity.
I am so excited to be here today because we are having a beautiful New York summer day and we're enjoying some watermelon margaritas.
Yeah, skinny girl.
Honestly, maybe I always need a skinny margarita. Every time I have them, like regular margaritas, I'm always just like, I'm going to get heartburn in like 3 seconds because there's so much sugar.
Right. Well, this, I feel like
And
the
this-
natural sugar just from the
Watermelon. It
watermelon.
tastes
Yeah.
good. So how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like I'm going to move closer to my mic.
Gotta really be on top of these things to be loud.
Yeah. I'm having a great week. I went to 2 concerts this week. That was self-care because I feel like I haven't been doing things like that. And it was really fun. Had a good dance. Had a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, and I popped out my juicer today, which is partially what we're drinking out of these little margies.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm good. I'm getting back to me, you know?
I was excited when you were like, do you like watermelon? I'm going to juice something. I was like, yeah, I do.
It's just, and watermelon's so good, and it's like, it has so many great benefits.
It's the only melon I like.
Well, someone who's going to remain anonymous goes to a nutritionist, and they're like trying to lose weight. And their nutritionist was like, well, if you want to lose 10 pounds quickly, just drink watermelon juice for 3 days.
That's a great pride tip.
It also, happy Pride, guys. Which is also crazy that a nutritionist said that. And I like looked it up, and there's like, people are like, oh, drinking watermelon juice like helps, cut down the bloat. But it's like not healthy to just obviously have something that has like no protein,
What did they say? Just drink that. Don't have anything else. Like,
I think that's what it was for 3 days.
Oh, I was thinking it's just like, instead of water, have watermelon juice.
I think starting your day with watermelon juice is good.
I might have to try this.
Yeah, I just want to see.
Or watermelon margaritas. Every day will be wild, and then I'll fall asleep at lunchtime.
Anyways, how are you doing? So those are my pride tips, self-care tips.
I'm good. I went to see the boys in the band this week, which is the big revival with like
Big gay revival.
Big gay revival. So I'm celebrating my Pride Month, pridefully. Saw Matt Bomer on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just truly just a specimen of art. And I know that you don't feel the way I feel about Matt Bomer,
he rubs me the wrong way.
But he doesn't have a lot of lines in this play, but he stands against a wall for a while, and I was like trying to take tips, like how do I look that hot just standing?
Yeah. Well, that's why he's an actor.
Yeah. He does look very short, as all actors do.
Yeah.
But he looks great standing. Yeah, maybe being short might give you better proportions.
Oh, for the screen?
Yeah. And you can like look good next to actresses.
Oh, interesting. That's a hot take.
Hot take from me observing Matt Bomer's body during the entire play. And been to the gym 5 days this week already.
Go, girl.
So I'm feeling good. Feeling like I have a little bit of a schedule down because I haven't been out of town for the last couple of weeks.
So you're like getting back on track. You're feeling more yourself.
Just right. Like things are on schedule.
Yeah, that's great.
Which keeps me from feeling absolutely crazy. And yeah, I loved a lot our last
episode
we recorded, which isn't going to be the last one you guys are hearing, but recording with a guest was so much fun.
Yeah, that was when we're recording now, I actually just listened to that one today when I was walking around, and I was saying to you off mic was that it was like I was having a good time listening to it, and I always enjoy listening to them.
Right.
But because there was so many people and so much going on during it, you're kind of like, oh, this could be going both ways. And I'd like to hear people's feedback of being like, who who don't know the people that were in the room.
Yeah, if it was.
But it felt like other podcasts I listened to where it's like they have friends come on and you're like, everyone's having a good time.
We really were. I mean, we had 2 magnums of wine and a standard
or
like
two
750 milliliter.
2 liters of wine and
I just
a
like
regular bottle.
just burnt through it.
Yeah, well,
during
there
recording.
were a lot of us.
But not a lot of time. I think it was a narrow window of time where, I mean, when you have a wine girl for the recording, your glass just stays full.
Yeah, we don't have a wine girl or
A Mark
couch
girl.
producers today.
But I did want to put out a call to our audience. If you are a friend of the pod and live in town or are
We'll
ever
be
visiting in town and have someone that you really want to deal with, get some issues off your chest, just wanted to say, let us know. We're happy to arrange it as long as you got a litany ready to go and, are comfortable talking on mic, which not everyone is.
Not everyone is, but we try to create like a nice environment. And you can also always email us at weforgiveyouPodcast@gmail.com
with any voice notes or just emails if you want us to deal with a person but don't have to do it like with us. So in that last recording, you sort of revealed that the person we're going to talk about today
I guess 2 recordings ago when we played the game, it was really revelatory. Oh, and I did mention her. I've mentioned her in the last 2 release podcasts.
You've really been dropping a lot of hints.
Yeah, I have. And again, per our guest last week, everyone already knows who it is based on.
So it is the Queen of the McPheever.
Ooh, okay. She wishes that could
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess it did for 1 season of American Idol.
Yeah.
Former American Idol runner-up.
Katherine McPhee.
Katherine McPhee.
She lost to.
Oh my God, his name left my mind again. Taylor Hicks.
I've met him before and I have a photo with him if anyone wants to see it.
Is there a Broadway actor named like Taylor Trench? Is that his last name?
Trench. Oh yeah, he was in Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
And Hello Dolly.
Okay, I almost called him like Taylor Hicks. I almost called him Taylor Trench. Not the same age, demographic, sexuality. So
with my sexuality.
So Katherine McPhee, I learned of her watching her season of American Idol with my parents.
Because that was still when it was like hot.
Yeah, it was maybe season 4.
Let's confirm this. I'm the researcher. American Idol. Because it was like what, 2006.
Oh.
So it was in 2000. I honestly wish this was easier to find out. American Idol. 2000 season 5. So you were close. Oh my God. And she auditioned with God Bless This Child. Originally performed, the Billie Holiday song.
Wow. I distinctly remember her rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's all I remember from her season. Somewhere over the rainbow.
Dream. Wait, way up high. I remember her audition. I remember her being like, my mom is a vocal coach, a voice coach or something. And she was like shy and like, you can already tell by the tone of my voice. And I liked her at that time. I was like, oh, cool. Great. She seems like nice and sweet and genuine.
Right.
And like afraid of the spotlight.
Will say my starting point with Katherine McPhee is that I liked her, I guess, and especially like relative to Taylor Hicks, who I like didn't understand the appeal of it all. Like I was like, he just looks older than he is because he had like premature gray hair. And his vibe was also like older than he was. And it was just, I was also like a 16-year-old. So I was like, who's this old guy? He just seemed like a fogey before he was even like relevant. He felt irrelevant on his like national debut, which.
Well, he's like, from the Redneck Riviera, which I
proved out.
Has a special place in my heart. That's where I met him. And he was really nice. And people were literally stopping him for photos. This is like. I was going to be like, this is 3 years ago. It's definitely like before I moved to New York. So it's been a while.
Uh-huh.
So I guess it was closer to that time. But I was over 21.
Oh, yeah. So it was at least 6 years after his season on American Idol.
We stopped him. We're like, oh, Taylor Hicks. Like, why not ask him for a photo?
Isn't it crazy also like
day.
when you're not in New York, how much more open you'd be to just stopping someone and asking for a photo.
Yeah. Also, like,
In New York, you pretend like you're just as famous as them. And you like make eye contact and you're like, I bet they recognize me too.
I saw you. I recognize you, like Sonia Morgan. Yeah, well, it's also just, this sounds like such a dick thing to say. But I'm almost like, obviously, like, I have this obsession with celebrity, like, good, bad, unhealthy, healthy, somewhere in between. It's part of being an American, I think. Just living in this, you know, these are our royals. That, like, I almost feel like, just like how I have allegiances for, like, Hillary Duff, and I stand these people that, like, once I am there for you, I'm ride or die.
Right.
I want to, like, help them, make them still feel famous. Like, when I saw Taylor Hicks, I was like, oh, I should ask for a photo. Like, I don't want anyone to not feel famous, which is funny that, like, with Katherine McPhee, one of my things is that I think she, in her mind, she's more famous
than she is.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about her? You said, like, when you first saw her on American Idol, you liked her.
Yeah, I think it was Smash. I think Smash, it might have even been through the American Idol. I was like, she is not what she seems.
Mm-hmm.
And then Smash, which maybe you want to, like, give a little intro of Smash and Karen Cartwright.
So Smash, for everyone not in the know, debuted after the Super Bowl in 2012. Oh my God, it was the 2012 Super Bowl. And Katherine Heigl played the main. Katherine McPhee. Oh my God, recasting Smash with Katherine Heigl. We're playing another round of Give Her a Chance.
But can you imagine Katherine Heigl playing Karen Cartwright? She'd be like, oh, you know, she kind of does like, oh, like
she would feel like Katherine Heigl as Karen Cartwright would feel grossed out by herself.
Yeah, she's like, I just can't shake it.
Right. I saw Hereditary last night, and afterward, Patrick like just had the heebie-jeebies as he described it.
That's cute.
Because it's just like an onslaught of upsetting.
Yeah, and unsettling.
It also, spoilers for Hereditary, but not really. But there's just not a lot of.
If just like pause for the next 20 seconds.
I'm not going to give any plot details. I just want to say that there aren't like jump scares in it. It's truly just like dread-inducing.
There are a few jump scares,
but not like you expect from a horror movie. There aren't like dun dun dun, like there's not that like typical pacing of.
Remember when she's on the thing and running?
No, there are like a couple,
moments,
but like
it's not
like
primary source of the scares.
Right. There's long periods where just like I am uncomfortable, and the jump scares also relieve that feeling because there's like suspense. Release, and then you like sort of you jump, and then you sort of get to laugh at yourself for jumping, and it doesn't give you that very often. So like you just contain that feeling in your body afterward, and that's what Katherine Heigl would bring to Karen Cartwright on Smash.
She brings her history with her.
But Katherine McPhee brought with her to Smash the line and introducing Katherine McPhee as Karen Cartwright. So Angelica Huston.
Oh my God, Sam and I, it's Angelica Huston because I used to say Angelica Huston, and Sam was like, you literally have 2 of her books and you've read them, and that's not how you pronounce her name.
I think that this is a New York issue because you get so used to Houston when it's spelled as Houston, and then anytime you see any word that looks like that, you're like,
well,
someone else is going to have to say it.
Growing up, I thought it was like Angelica Huston.
Oh.
I think it sounds good. Huston.
Is it John Huston? Like Angelica Huston? Anyway, she is on that show. Deborah Messing is on that show.
Yeah.
Oh, and
who's the sexy guy?
The director. Oh God, what is his name?
Let me look him up.
Anyway, so there's like a lot of famous people.
Oh.
On Smash, or like famous either from television or theater. Like Megan Hilty plays Katherine McPhee's rival and is like a very well-regarded theater actress.
Right. Oh, Jack Davenport, is that his name?
Oh yeah, Jack Davenport.
Like his name matches his look. Ooh, baby.
All of the names on Smash are fake names. Jack Davenport.
But that's his real name.
Katherine Cartwright.
No, that's his real name.
Wait, what is his character's name? Anyway, sorry for this long digression about Smash. My big issue with Katherine McPhee
Oh my
and I know
God.
this is your person, but is truly just on Smash when they were doing promotions for it. NBC kept being like, and introducing.
How bad is picture?
Oh wow, Jack Davenport looks like my hair did a week ago on Wikipedia.
Well, it's also funny. I feel like the introducing was kind of smart because she was known for a Fox show, and so Smash was like NBC's like big like, and so it's like introducing to because none of you guys watch American Idol.
To me it felt like this weird like it was like being like it was gaslighting on like a national level about nothing, but it was just like everyone watched, not everyone, but like American Idol at season 5 was like
People were
like
still
30
watching.
million people an episode were watching it. And then Katherine McPhee had like an attempted both acting and singing career prior to Smash. Like she had like 2 to 3 albums out before she was on that show, and was in like the movie The House Bunny and like on a lot of like
Where she again played one of these characters that's unaware like
of how hot she is. Anyway, so she just had like she had a career,
yeah.
like enough of a career where you can't introduce me to her.
No.
Like introducing Katherine McPhee is the same thing as when you like meet someone for the 5th time and they ask you their name, like your name.
Oh well, so you're saying it's rude.
I thought it truly bothered me, and it was just like it was as if like they went out. It's like if I was watching Beast of the Southern Wild and they're like, and this is Quvenzhané Wallace, and it's like, yes, thank you for introducing me to her. I don't need you to introduce. Like, I know Katherine McPhee. I already have like no feelings about her because she's like
Also,
a failed pop star.
I'm sorry, but like the people who watch Smash, for sure,
Watch
know
American
Katherine-
Idol,
yeah.
or at least like
or know who Katherine McPhee is. Like,
yeah,
you could say introducing Katherine McPhee on Scorpion.
sure. And like honestly, even like after she had been introduced on Smash, if you had said introducing Katherine McPhee on Scorpion, I'd be like introducing everyone on the cast of Scorpion
Yeah.
to me.
She was probably the most famous person on that.
I honestly thought when I first saw a trailer for Scorpion that it was a fake show.
Is it like about sports betting?
I don't know. Friend of the pod, Sarah Garrison, could let us know because she watched Scorpion all the way through its 4th season.
Well, Sarah really supports Scooter Braun projects. That's what I love about her. He was like a producer on the show, I think.
But it was recently canceled. Anyway, so
Wait, so you're upset with how NBC presented her because she obviously had nothing to do with that. So this has nothing to do with Katherine McPhee.
okay, though that's my issue, but I think it does play into what your issue is a bit, which is like this sort of fake ingenue bit that she seems
Yes.
to be constantly
Doe-eyed.
doing. And it's like she's 34 years old now, and I still feel like she is telling me that she just moved here. Like
Fresh off the bus.
like Katherine McPhee's whole career is the Andy scene in Devil Wears Prada, where she's like, I was the editor-in-chief of the Daily Northwestern. Like, I promise you I can do this. I can be a star.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've seen your work.
Ooh, girl.
Anyway, but so what is your litany?
So they all kind of, the litanies all stem from this idea of how she
I
presents
love that
herself.
you just pluralize litany as it like the lists.
Yeah. The lists. The main litany is that how she presents herself. And it's funny, like your bit on how NBC introduced her is not unlike how she presents herself, reviews herself. And the first one would be that she presents herself as this girl next door, nice girl, all-American girl, doe-eyed, young ingenue. So on Smash,
In her defense, she is doe-eyed.
she is doe-eyed for sure. She's not so nice. I just don't. It's like I like really wish I do remember the moment when I was like, she is not who she says she is. But there is something, and this is what I want to unpack because it seems very sexist to me.
Mm-hmm.
That and it probably is an insecurity of mine. She seems like someone who does not support other women, and she's there to steal your boyfriend.
Okay, so let's dig into that aspect of her a little
Because
bit.
How she, like, I guess with like a presentation of like on Smash, she's just like, but she sleeps with the director.
Right.
And then she actually slept with the director of the show.
While she was married.
And while he was married.
And
So
then
it takes
said
two to
not
tango.
apologizing for it, which
It's fine. Like,
if you want, like, honestly, the
ended
best that
your
you can
marriage,
do
own it.
is not apologize for a cheating scandal
Yeah.
as a celeb.
It
So-
ended her marriage. His marriage, he's still with Mary McCormick, actor and best friend of Chelsea Handler. And Chelsea Handler says that they're like her parents. She always says the nicest things about Mary McCormick. So,
Is she older than Chelsea Handler?
let me see. I don't think so.
Or she just has like a paternal...
No, it's just because like they're married and they have like 3 kids and they like...
Oh, and so
Keep
she's like
her
a
in
single
line.
woman. So
She's
it's like what her
49.
life could have been like.
Well, and she's like, they give me like, she has her family that
Right.
she's close with, but also like Mary's
I see what you mean.
family. Like she goes to all her kids' things. So she's kind of like a stand-in. She's like the crazy aunt, which I feel like she is in her whole life. Mary is 49. I think, how old is Chelsea? Like 45?
Probably.
43.
Oh, sorry, Chelsea. We added 2
Yeah.
years.
Um,
So yeah, Katherine McPhee.
She-
Right, like her.
So I get that, like, saying that and being like, oh, you come as this, not that you can't be a nice person and have an affair, but I also, like,
I feel like
loyalty and respect to, like, your own relationship and someone else's relationship. And, like,
I feel like maybe what this is though is just like it's like a presentation versus.
it's like President Trump saying that he's a Christian is what it feels like to me.
Wow, that's intense.
These
Wait,
are fight words.
But so Katherine McPhee, like, in some ways, right, like, does feel like sort of like a fake goody two shoes,
Yeah.
but also like when she had this affair,
It's like no regrets.
yeah, which like doesn't like don't add up to the same like persona.
Well, I just always feel like with her in this like goody two shoes, so she, and this is where I feel like weird about, she seems like the type of girl that like uses like I'm just like, I can't even help, like I'm not aware of how hot I am, and like I just like can't help who I fall in love with, and like sometimes the timing's not right, and like I'm sure you feel trapped in your marriage and I feel trapped in mine. It's just like, it just all feels like this construct, which I get all of us have. And I realize it sounds so like sexist and like anti-feminist of me to like be attacking her. She rubs me the wrong way. And I feel like 'cause she's not a girl's girl. She always dates men who are like nearly 20 years older than her plus.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, so she's currently dating David Foster, who she met as a mentor on American Idol. And
when she was 21, and she denied it for a long time, which is like, whatever, it's your personal life.
and he's 68 and she's 34.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very January, December. Well, I guess May, December actually works because they're not anywhere close to each other.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's like more than a May, December.
Yeah.
May, December of the next year.
Mm-hmm. More than that. So I feel like that's what I want to know. Like, how do I work through this with her? Because it's like this presentation. I feel like she does these things where it's, I'm this girl next door. Oh my God, no, David Foster and I can't be dating. Like, he's been my mentor. Like, blah, blah. Well, then they are.
Right.
And
They're also, I think, with that, like the David Foster thing ties into your first, like, frustration with, like, her as someone who would, like, steal, quote unquote, a man.
yeah, and
In
not that I think
like,
it goes.
she's known him, like, while he was married to
Yolanda.
Yolanda Hadid. And so, like, and we like watched their relationship on Real Housewives. Sorry, everyone, of Beverly
Yeah.
Hills. And so, like, you feel, or at least you, the universal you, I feel a loyalty to Yolanda
Yeah.
that I don't feel to David because I never liked him when he was on screen on that show. And then, like, certainly don't feel to Katherine McPhee. And I feel like I, like, in my head, take Yolanda's quote unquote side because when you, like, look at that relationship, like, having existed since they met on Idol, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like
Something
just
feels
like
wrong.
a rebound post divorce with Yolanda. It feels like something was going on, and then like now they're finally together.
Yeah. And she's so much younger than him. And so like I'm trying to like not make this a thing where I'm attacking her, and I don't like the way of like she's someone who this is why I feel like it seems so hard, is because I don't know why she in particular bothers me.
Yeah.
And like I know we said on like one of our things, like you can't just like, I don't like him. But I'm like, why do I feel this way about her? Why is it that it's this presentation that she's acts like the girl next door, but she's not, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, would I like her more if she was just like, she just seems to always be not like posturing, but like it's like she's trying to gaslight all of us. Like, oh, people are stupid. They don't realize, like, I can be the sweet girl.
So I think all of these things run together. What she is currently most known and liked or reviled for is on Twitter. She posted a video backstage at the musical Waitress where she opens it and says,
"Hi, my gay boys. I am here in my dressing room putting makeup on. I'm sure some of you know about that. I am getting ready for my Broadway debut, and I hope you guys will come because I'm going to give you everything you've ever
wanted.
Ever wanted. I don't know why that cut off.
Yeah, I don't know why that didn't.
So what I was thinking about there is, I mean, I truly think this is like, in a lot of ways, camp perfection. But in that, Katherine McPhee addressing a group as "Hi, my gay boys" feels like inauthentic because she's not someone who's like known for having a strong like gay following. But also, I guess this like comes back, it's like twofold. It's like she doesn't have a strong gay following, but also like Katherine McPhee also like isn't someone I really think has like any sort of following. In that I could like define like, oh, I know what a Katherine McPhee fan is like. It's like,
I hope, you know what wouldn't surprise me is it when we do our tags on Instagram. This happened in the Kate Winslet one. We had a lot of Kate Winslet fan accounts like us. I wouldn't be surprised. I think she has a random following.
oh, I'm sure
Like
she, I mean, she
loyal
has
following.
to have, you know, one.
Super fan.
And obviously Smash is like iconic in its own way for being like good and horrible and hilarious and like very
strong pilot, horrible show, like
very strong. I mean, wonderful pilot, honestly. But like people, like there's a cult around Smash. It's like,
yeah,
and we're like barely inside of it, obviously, because we keep messing up like details and names.
But we're also like, it's the fact that it's been mentioned so many times on our podcast.
Right. I mean, Smash is like a cultural touchstone for a like subset of people, and a lot of those people are gay.
Yeah.
So I like get it from Katherine McPhee's point of view a little bit, but I'm just like her saying like, "Hi, my gay boys. I'm putting on makeup," which I'm sure some of you know about. It somehow seems offensive in a way. It's just like, what are you talking about?
Well,
It feels like oh god, who is that actor with the eyes who plays the detective on 30 Rock?
oh, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, it feels thank you. It feels like Steve Buscemi's character on 30 Rock when he says, "Hi, fellow teens."
That's exactly like, hey, my dude.
Yeah.
Like,
It feels like someone trying to like announce that they're part of something that they're not part of.
to me, I can't help. Like, at first I was like, this is crazy. But two, I was like, you're doing this for your show Waitress. It just seems like, we'll get into that part of it. But this big like marketing move of being like, gay is like theater.
Right.
You've got to have a gay following, Katherine, right? Cat. Those close to her call her Cat. And so it just seems like so disingenuous.
Yeah.
Just like, but that's her, where it's like, I'm this girl next door and like I do this, so like of course gays like me, and just like gays.
Yeah, gay boys. Hi, my gay boys. I'm saying hi, my gay boys is so much fun. I will give her that.
Yes, but like we can say that. And maybe she can, like, I don't know her life, but she's never, like, has she ever, like, been
I will say
highlighted or Pride event?
100% Katherine McPhee is not allowed to say faggot. Like, as a rule. Just like, there are some people that are allowed to say it. Katherine McPhee is not one of them. Like, text me if you think I'm wrong, but I don't think we're giving her that option.
But this, like, oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Anyway, no, I think what is frustrating about Katherine McPhee maybe is that, like, she doesn't go away, but she never breaks out. And
like
so
an
it, like,
STD sometimes.
but so it doesn't line up with like star narratives that we're comfortable with. Like, if she had been on American Idol and like her career had just grown from there, and
Like
she
a
was like
Carrie
a
Underwood.
Carrie Underwood or Kelly Clarkson, or
Even a Jordan Sparks.
even like a Jennifer Hudson, like if she had
Yeah,
had like
different
a career or like a big touchstone of like Jennifer Hudson and Dreamgirls, where it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, like you're cemented. And Smash is that a little bit, but not. I mean, it's not large enough.
It's like a cuspy zeitgeist.
Right, but
You know
she's
what I mean?
yeah, she always feels like she's on the cut. Not always, but she feels like at best on the cusp of the zeitgeist and never a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like sometimes I'm just like, why do I still have to think about Katherine McPhee, which is fucked up? Like, she's a woman who's like wants to be a working actress or singer,
like,
and like is what she's naturally talented at. Like, I don't think she's a great actress, but she's a like serviceable actress.
yeah,
And like a very like
she's a talented
vocalist, right? Like, she has a strong voice.
Yeah.
Like, whether like she's never had a good song
But I also
or a recognizable
like, to
song,
me,
really. But like,
that goes back to her unaware of what her strengths are.
she's a wannabe star with no star persona. At the end of the day, like, she is a blank. And so like, especially, it's like she's a blank, and you can't be a blank on like Twitter or a blank on Instagram. Like,
But don't you think it's because she actually thinks she's like this girl next door who like does like romance songs or whatever?
maybe.
And so it's like when you are pushing something that's so inauthentic to who you are not going to get famous, or like it's not going to explode.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think, but is that like what it is with her at the end of it, at the end of the day, to be very Nene Leakes about it? But like, is it just that she like has no definition, and the definition you can give to her is off-putting?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's part of it. And it's also like, I want to be careful too that I'm not like trying to get her to be like, oh, she is this way or this way. Like, I get people are complex and nuanced. It's just, I feel like she thinks her brand is one thing, and it's like, oh, I do these things like, hi, my gay boys, I'm the girl next door, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hunty, when you are and I hate the term like homewrecker, but I'm going to throw it out there. Like, people can give me shade. Like, you're not the girl next door. You're not. You don't have, like,
I think, right. I think also the homewrecker thing, though, like, doesn't line up with her like her star persona in any way. Like,
yeah.
not to call anyone a homewrecker again, but like Angelina Jolie, like when she was a quote unquote homewrecker, it fit her persona in a way that it like
sort of, but then she had this renaissance of being like a mom, and I feel like that it was totally
publicist driven.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
no, but do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
in that, like, her home wrecking Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt,
it
like,
was very, like,
added
she's the bad
to
girl.
her existing persona. Like, people that didn't like her still didn't like her, but like, people that were already cool with Angelina Jolie or thought she was like the sexiest woman, or like, I'd go gay for Angelina Jolie type of person, like, they were still into it because it fit her narrative and her brand. And Katherine McPhee, like, cheating is never going to fit her narrative in that same way. but also like what is her narrative?
Well, what is her narrative? And I hate to like harp on like people's sexual lives and what they do. It's just like her cheating thing with Mary McCormick's husband, Michael Morris, the director of Smash, was literally a Kristen Stewart, what was that director type thing? It was like very public paparazzi photos.
Right.
That seems so staged. And it's like, as someone who seems to be so thirsty for fame, but like doesn't.
Right.
That's another element of it. And I don't know like what I want from her or like out of these things, but like.
Is it that you don't want anything from her?
Maybe, but that seems mean. Like
I know it seems mean.
She's a vocalist. Like, I just don't think she's being true to who she is. And so everything she does seems inauthentic and try hard. And you made this great point off Mike about how she's actually maybe what people blame the Hathaway haters think of Anne Hathaway.
Right. Which I really meant is that like Katherine McPhee, like people say like you can see the work with Anne Hathaway, but not the work to be like successful and famous. It's like you can see her acting or like you can tell that there's preparation that goes into everything that she does. Whereas with Katherine McPhee, you can see the work, but the work isn't about her performance. It's about being famous.
Right. It's everything that surrounds it. And so it's like, I think with this Hi My Gay Boys, which is so funny, it's like, one, Waitress isn't like directly associated with gay culture.
I mean,
it's about like an abused woman, like finding her voice and like, so one, that's your approach. But also it seems like you're co-opting this, like, I'm a singer in this because of, and she, for all we know, she might be very, like, she might donate a lot of things here, whatever. She might, but I don't think, like, I feel like we're kind of away. Like, she makes these things known.
Right.
That.
I feel like the thing about her is maybe that she's, like, frustrating, but also is easy to ignore.
I think she is, but then it's like, what? She's at the Met Gala. She was invited to the Met Gala.
I mean, people have. If she didn't have like an actual visible career at all, like it would be kind of fun in that like Phoebe Price, like Biling sort of like late 2000s. Like I'm on every red carpet and you have no idea who I am or like what I do outside of walk red carpets. But right, she's missing both like genuine stardom, but also like a camp factor.
Yeah.
So like when we were talking last weekend about like Misha Barton or Lindsay Lohan, they both, I mean, Lindsay obviously is like more clearly talented than Misha Barton, but they both like they both had like downfalls in that made them like both iconic and like very campy. Mm-hmm. And Katherine McPhee like has like had so many failures, but none of them have been like funny
enough to, or like funny enough to be camp or like
or like it's just like
cult following.
I like I keep coming back to like Smash being like as close as I feel like she'll ever get to stardom, because it's like,
yeah,
I mean, like Scorpion had like 4 seasons, like Smash only had 2 seasons, but like Scorpion is not what make like,
so
it's like being on like NCIS like New Orleans. It's like congrats on being on like a long running show, like a show that's gonna run for a long time, but like you're gonna have a lot of viewers and none of them are gonna be between like 18 and 34 or whatever like the prime demographic is, 18 and 49.
But I think something that we're like dancing around, and I like genuinely want to know why I feel this way to her, but I do feel like it's this insecurity of being like, she seems like someone I couldn't trust. It seems like there's this one story I read in Page 6 from this past December about her and one of her producer friends like crashing a wedding in Cabo, and the bride being like, "Can you guys leave?" Because the bride honestly probably didn't recognize her, to be fair. And also, like, if she did, like, it's not like, unless you're like, I was literally gonna say Drake or Katy Perry, like, don't know why those are the two, but that sort of level,
right?
Or if you're like a really fun like bit actor or something, like,
right, you either want it to be like, you want Taylor Swift to crash your wedding, or you want like,
I'm gonna say
like
Glenn Powell.
he's so
cute.
He is very cute, but I was gonna say like Margot Martindale. Like, you either want like,
Yeah,
like a true star, or like just like someone you're like, holy shit, like this actually means a lot that I met Margot Martindale. Like, you want Ann Dowd to be at your wedding.
But so
you want like a middle-aged white character actress who's like had a moment in the last 5 years.
But I think also, and then she and her friend went back to their like hotel room and were like posting these videos on the friend's Instagram, which was public at the time, about being like, hashtag rude bride, hashtag like you're a loser, to the bride for kicking them out. And I think it's like rooted in, I really feel like they went in there and she was like, I'm Katherine McPhee, like sort of like, I'm famous, so I should be allowed to be here. Like, this air about Katherine McPhee, I feel like is really highlighted in this one instance, because we all do dumb late night drunken shenanigans. Some of us, if we
shenanigans.
Drink. Yeah, she's like hashtag late night shenanigans. But, and this sounds so rude, but I feel like she thinks she's more famous than she is. It sounds so mean, so catty, so bitchy, and there it is. I said it.
Yeah.
I'll take ownership of that. But I think it's one thing that I would defend Jennifer Lawrence, is that she would never, to me, in my opinion, always fall back and be like, well, I'm famous. Which I feel like Katherine McPhee is that person that always resorts to that. And I feel like this all feels so sexist.
It does. It does feel sexist in a way that's like hard to fully identify.
And also like I want, and is it just because she seems like this woman that I couldn't trust? And not even like thinking about like my own relationship and being like, if Sam were to cheat on me, I wouldn't blame the other person. I'd blame Sam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like there are these people who get off, like Aviva Dresser. She gets turned on when she sees a wedding ring or something like that.
Aviva Drescher. What a lady.
The only thing fake about me is this leg.
Katherine McPhee. I don't know, it's like hard to find more things to say about her, because like her body of work is like
so limited,
having been in the public conversation for 12 years, when like she's had one piece of like pop culture take off in any way. Like, she was in like Shark Night 3D, not a hit. Scorpion, like not a genuine hit. None of her singles have ever been genuine hits. She's like constantly, 12 years is a long time to watch someone not make it.
But I think the thing that like gets to it is that like but then we talk about, like we mentioned, like Ann Dow. We were talking about it earlier. She's been doing it for so long, and then recently with like The Leftovers and Handmaid's Tale, and even in Hereditary, like she's getting recognition.
Right.
So I feel like we're towing like a fine line, but it's because like Ann Dow doesn't go out and be like, I am famous, bitch.
But I think that actually gets back to the point about that like Anne Hathaway thing, where it's like Katherine McPhee seems to be investing work in being famous, but not investing work in being a good actress or a good singer. And you don't have to have like a number one single to gain like recognition. In that, like Carly Rae Jepsen, like the Emotion album obviously sold like 0 copies,
but it's incredible.
but is incredible, and also like very well known within like a subset of people.
Right.
And like Carly Rae Jepsen can say, hi, my gay boys.
She definitely can say that.
In like a way that Katherine McPhee,
also,
it's like, huh?
So that, okay, something maybe was like the margarita. I have not been intermittent fasting, so I can't blame that today. Is that she's one of those people that has like a few gay friends and is like, well, my gay friends, and it's like, they're people. One, they're not just identified by their sexuality; they're your friends. And they happen to be gay. You know what I mean?
Does she kind of feel, in a way, like a Real Housewife who's not funny enough to be on the Real Housewives? Like Katherine McPhee could very easily be a Meghan King Edmonds.
Yeah, but I don't even think Meghan would be like Mike. Yeah.
Well, that's because she has a gay brother.
Yeah, but I think what it is that
But
she
like
thinks she's more famous. She thinks she's smarter. And this is also sexist. Someone help me.
Yeah.
Help me, Jackson.
I'm trying, but I'm also like working through my own like either sexism or just like
vaccination to McPheever.
Yeah, I got vaccinated. Unlike Kat Von D's children. Topical, sorry. Yeah, I think it's like, okay, so this is like, I hate Jeremy Renner.
Right.
And part of that is that he is always presented to me as the star of the movie.
Yeah.
When Jeremy Renner, in my eyes, at best, can only play like the second in command or like the best friend.
Yep.
Like I cannot look at Jeremy Renner and ever think of him as like, this is the main character. Right. I just can't do it. Or I certainly can't think of him as like sexy or like an action star. And like, I don't know what that is, except like I just don't think he's attractive. But like, right. You don't have like, there's plenty of people that are like attractive who also don't have it. Like Liam Hemsworth,
yeah,
is very hot and not a star.
Right.
Whereas Chris Hemsworth is hot and a star.
Right.
And like Katherine McPhee, hot, not a star. Like at the end of the day, it's like I can't keep watching you try to be a star because you're not a star.
But it's also how she thinks of herself. And it sounds so sexist, but I just think it's the way she's continually trying to present herself to me as the consumer. I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Right.
I don't believe you. And it, like, we were trying to figure out, like, she's always, and this also is like me sounding so judgy, and it is judgment of like always dating. Her first husband was literally 15 or 20 years older than her.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what it is. It's just, I think I just need to like walk away from her. And I try to, but like, then it's like, smash. And I'm like, Katherine McPhee. Like,
it's really just smash. Without smash, it would disappear, like from your mind.
Yeah, but she's dating David Foster now.
Right.
Who I can ignore, but just I really like Yolanda Hadid from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Formerly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I hope that someone is like, this was fucked up, here's what's actually going on, because I think that we both have an issue, not with necessarily with Katherine McPhee, because she doesn't bother me in the same way she bothers you, but about celebrities like her. Yeah. Where like I'm just like, you're not giving me any sort of value. Like you're not a leading man or leading lady. You're not like a pop star. You're not weird.
But it's also like people should be allowed to like not be any of those things. But then I go back to.
But then you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be famous. Like no one is entitled to being famous. Like everyone doesn't actually get their 15 minutes, like regardless of what Andy Warhol has to say.
Yeah.
And like you've already been given more than 15 minutes and you're still not a star. Somebody else's turn. Like there's just I think maybe that's what it is. It's like there are so many people who I'm interested in seeing become huge stars, like on a national platform. It's like, you know who I'd watch as like the lead in a movie, who's like also not like traditionally handsome, but like John Early is like a like queer white man, but still like very openly queer and like, but has a star persona. Like he is interesting at like every level, and I can listen to him on a talk show. I can like listen to his comedy. I can watch him in a film. I can like watch him in a short. I can like all these things, and he captures my attention. And like Katherine McPhee, I feel like I'm in class being told to pay attention, and it's like I don't care about the subject.
Right. Oh, that's so good. I also feel like with her though, like I feel this sort of guilt at the same time, like when you're like, oh, I'd rather see this person, because like I've had this thing where that I mentioned earlier where I like want celebrities to feel like they're still famous, because imagine that you've been famous or like working really hard to be an actor or like a singer. Like what skills do you have if you can't do that? Like how do you support yourself? And so I always feel like sad about that. Like I'm attacking her, but then I'm like, well, I guess she could be a voice coach. She could do this. She could do that. And I would have liked to see maybe someone else play in the role of waitress. So now I feel guilt at the end of this. And I'm like, she's trying to do what she's trying to do.
Like, I don't think you want to wish anyone like.
No. You
don't want to wish a lack of success on
or
anyone.
Opportunity. Like,
but I'm also, at the end of the day, not concerned about like how Katherine McPhee is going to feed herself. Like she's good. Like she was probably good before she ended up on my television. Like she seems like a very comfortably middle class white woman. And there's just other people who have so much more interest and talent and even like celebrity to them that I'm just like,
well, that's also like, why are we like talking about her for 50 minutes? Because I feel like she represents a type of person, maybe for me.
I feel like she is the upper echelons of the Who's.
Yeah. But it's like she's not even good at
being a Who. But we all know her name, right? But like, because shout out to Who Weekly, but like Who, like to be a great Who, like requires a level of like irony or camp to you. Like Rita Ora, for like as much as I'm like, you have nothing. What she does truly have.
I like a lot of her songs.
I like a couple of her songs, but like what she does have at the end of the day, like, and I think like she should kind of be thankful for this, is like by being made like the ultimate Who and like developed like that persona that's like developed on the internet around her has made her so much more than she like ever would be as just like a failed pop star. And like that's what Katherine McPhee is lacking, is like she's failed, but she's
lack of awareness around this.
Yeah. But I don't, does Rita Ora like acknowledge?
No, but like Rita Ora's brand, or like the clothing brand she put out that like doesn't really have her name on it at all. It's like, well, why would you do that? Like stuff that's just like she does that's so thirsty, like always attention seeking, like, you know what I mean? Like that I feel like Rita Ora is putting in the work, and Katherine McPhee I feel like is someone who's like, this is the way it's done. It's like, well, it's obviously not working. If that makes any sense, and it's so judgmental, and it's a very
messed up episode.
It is, and but like, this is self-care through celebrity. Like, why do I feel this way about her?
Yeah.
And I feel like I just need to like forget about her in order to forgive myself for feeling this way towards this person I've never met.
I want to forgive you, and I want to forget you.
But I have to forget her in order
to forgive her. Yeah, I mean, she's just there.
I think it's someone who also just like, I go back to who is nothing about her rings true to me. And I feel like the people that I like, and even like I'll stand for Jennifer Lawrence. Like she's like trying to do more than just be famous. And I mean, I guess because she's an actor, but like Katherine McPhee just seems so fake to me. And that bothers me.
I think actually that's a good maybe final note with Jennifer Lawrence, is that her star persona, even though like we were talking in our episode about her, did become sort of like calcified in a way that was just like, I feel like you're playing a bit now.
Yeah.
At least like in its like inception of us getting to know like her honest. As like your best friend, like everyone's best friend type thing, like felt real, and then like it caught on, and so like publicists and interviews and everything would like build onto this narrative, but there's like a solid, like there's a actual foundation to it where it's like at the end, like you can dig in and it's like it's there, and like there can be like levels of fakery or just like
myth or around.
It's like the first season of a sitcom. Like,
Yeah.
characters feel very real, and by like the Will and Grace revival, it's just like you know how to write jokes for these characters, but you're not thinking about them as people anymore. You're thinking about like what is a Jack line here, not who is Jack.
Right.
And so like Jennifer Lawrence can like get to a season 10 because it's like she's defined well enough as a person and like feels real and authentic enough that like you can like build a gag around her
Right.
because you know
Well, it's rooted in
what
truth.
a Jennifer Lawrence line is, even if you're not thinking about who is Jennifer Lawrence
Yeah.
anymore. With Katherine McPhee, it's like who is Katherine McPhee? It's been 12 years and I couldn't
No.
like create anything.
Well, I feel like that
Like,
just
you
looks at
couldn't
her
flip-
music. That's what it look at her movies. It's like she's always trying to be like, I'm just this theater nerd and I'm really hot, but I don't know I'm hot. And you're like, girl, like give me a different story. You date old men.
Dig into that.
Dig into that. Like I want to hear a song about that.
Yeah,
I don't think I can talk more about Katherine McPhee
I mean,
because I just sound so judgmental and bitchy, and it's like, I think it's the fakeness. I really feel like with her, it's like this fakeness and
the realness.
I feel like it's just growing up in like those girls in school who are like, oh, actually, like, I have a question, and you're like, actually, like, you know the answer, and to like, you don't normally sound like that. So why are you doing that?
Like she's like dumbing herself down.
Or just like, I'm sweet, and like the girl next door, and just like, this is what the sweet girl does.
Honestly, I feel like maybe that's, you just truly opened my eyes. Sorry to keep talking about Katherine McPhee, but in saying that, like it reminded me of this girl I went to high school with. Actually went to like, huh?
Said two for my high school came to mind.
This girl I went to like kindergarten through like 12th grade with
Yeah.
her. And there was like a point in 10th grade where she suddenly like seemed to be dumbing herself down, like because she was like getting a lot of attention from
For being
like
yeah.
because she was like pretty but also was very smart, but then like started doing poorly in classes and was like no longer in honors courses with me. And with me I was in honors courses at Stuart Straft High School. Sorry, this sounds so gross, but like I just remember thinking like, what is going on with her?
Right.
Like why are you doing this like for him? And
That's how
Katherine
it
McPhee
feels.
kind of feels like a girl you're just like, why are you doing this? Like
I think that's what it is. It's
you
like,
could
own
be
who you
like
are.
yourself, and instead you're giving me this thing that you think I want and I don't want it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't, she feels inauthentic.
Well,
and,
that's what it is, and it's
so you can't.
and everything about her I feel so inauthentic, but I'm constantly being like repackaged to her. She's
Right,
always
she's
on my
a-
radar in some way.
Well, that's introducing Katherine McPhee on
Yeah.
Smash. Like that's what
I
was so
can't shake
frustrating
her.
about it for me. Not just like a marketing play, but also just like you can like put this thing in like as many new bags as you
Yeah.
want, or like change the label, but I still know what I'm buying.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's just like
We're mean
some
girls.
people.
We're
No,
a bitch. No, just kidding.
this is like celebrity is not something you're entitled to, and so like I think it's fair to say like this person doesn't deserve that mantle of fame or celebrity or being the A-list. Like
David Foster's not your ticket to that.
no, he's not, although he might be your children's ticket to it.
Yeah. Oi. He's 68.
He is 68, but he would probably have more kids. He has so many children or dependents. Like that money
Yeah.
is split in so many
he has
ways.
good genes.
He does. He has beautiful daughters, and they're
Yeah,
funny.
and they're funny.
Shout out to Sarah Foster.
And Aaron. Sarah and Aaron.
Sarah and Aaron Foster. Remember to rate, review,
Subscribe.
and read books, and like our photos on Instagram, because the wonderful, talented Karen Lee.
Oh, she likes cutie.
I don't know why.
And
I
Sarah
was about to
Falkman.
start saying Sarah Falkman, and I was like, I'm getting these two
Yeah.
switched. And Sarah Falkman, who did our wonderful logo design, and
V. Carter.
V. Cartier Johnson.
Just V.
Just V as a musician who does our wonderful music. That's all I got.
That's all I got. I'm exhausted.
Bye.
Hi, my gay boys. I am here in my dressing room putting makeup on. I'm sure some of you know about that. I am getting ready for my Broadway debut, and I hope you guys will come because I'm going to give you everything you've ever
We forget.